What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Leadership Leaning. By the way, Juan is with us now. Juan is helping produce and run the Great Leadership Leaning podcast. Juan, we got to get a camera angle on you, bro. We got to let the people know what the Juanster looks like. This is episode number 55 in Spanish, 55. There we go. Juan. Welcome to Leadership Leaning. Again, thank you to everybody that subscribes, comments, posts about it. I see all the posts and it means the world. By the way, I was thinking, I'm so excited for, Spotify does the end of review, like most listened to podcasts. I'm hoping that once again, some of the leaners, we made your top podcast. I understand podcasts are the thing. Everyone's got a podcast. So we appreciate you listening to the Great Leadership Leaning podcast. Today, I am joined by, wait a second, we don't have a guest today. We're mixing it up. We're going to do some guests, some solo. I'm going to talk to you today about a volunteer culture. I've been leading volunteers for 2 decades and have made a ton of mistakes when it comes to volunteers and have found some success with leading volunteers. I want to talk to you today about building a great volunteer culture, because I believe if you can do this well, you can discover the why of your organization, people will freely volunteer. I mean, they'll sign up. By the way, people buy into you before they buy into your vision. So remember, if you want great volunteers, you first must be a great leader. So I'm going to give you some thoughts, and I hope to encourage you today around a volunteer culture. Number 1, happy volunteers are a reflection of great leadership. Just believe this. Whenever you find happy volunteers, it's because they have been led very, very well. In other words, when you see happy volunteers, there's great communication. Just a reminder, you cannot be a great leader and a bad communicator. So you're a great communicator. You communicate expectations. You communicate systems. You communicate how we do what we're supposed to do, whether that's coffee or whether that's basketball. It doesn't matter what the volunteer is, that there's clear description of expectation. And so whenever you see happy volunteers, by the way, excellence still speaks. So it's like when I was telling the other day, somebody, when I went to the Masters or when I go to Disneyland, and I walk through the property, all that screams out to me is excellence. Cleanliness, everything's in order. You don't see trash. The bathrooms have toilet paper. They have, there's not a bunch of water and trash on the counters. The order speaks. The Queen of Sheba, here's a Bible story. The Queen of Sheba goes visit this guy named Solomon. He's the most wise man in the world. Queen of Sheba walks in, she looks in the bathroom, she looks at the food, she looks at the gardening and all the spread, and she says, "How happy must your people be?" In other words, when things are in order, there's systems, there's vision, there's values, there's standards. How happy the leaders must be. When you walk into chaos and you walk into unorganizations, things are unkept, how unsatisfied must your volunteers be? So if you want to build a great volunteer culture, do the tough work: communication, systems, procedures, training, and you'll build a great volunteer culture. Number 2, do you care more about the person or what the person does for you? Here's where people get upset with volunteers, or volunteers get upset with organizations. They go, you know what? They treated me like I was a tool. They treated me like I was nothing. So this is where volunteer cultures go wrong. When volunteers feel like you only care about what I do for you, you don't care about me. In order to lead people that are volunteering away from their jobs, families, homes, careers, we have to place great value on them. So check in. How you doing? What's going on? What's in your heart? How's your financial picture? How's your relationships going? Do you feel overworked? All these things, when you're caring for people and people really sense, man, this place cares about me more than what I do for it, then people just go, I'm in. But if people ever get a sense, you don't care about me, you care about my service, You care that I can sing, or you care that I can create videos, or you care that Juan, that's a shot at you. You care about, what I'm giving to the team, but you don't care about me, then that's transactional. Nothing about God's kingdom, this is why I love Jesus, nothing about God's kingdom is transactional. God serves me. He loves me. And out of his love, I respond and I want to give. So if you want great volunteers, you have to really genuinely care about their lives, their livelihood, their future, their calling, their direction. It's not about what you can get out of them. It's what you can put into them. That's great volunteer culture. Number 4, we lean in to those that lean into us. This is a biblical model. Jesus, John 15, he says 7 times, remain in me, abide in me, lean into me. This is how leadership leaning got started. Lean into me and I will remain in you. So if you want to flourish, if I want to speak to all the volunteers that are listening to this, if you want to flourish in an organization, it's all about leaning in. We say it at Zoe, at the organization I lead. We are a lean in culture. If you lean into us, we're leaning into you. And so if you're leading volunteers, look for the ones that are leaning. Look for the ones that are going, I'm giving extra time. I'm here tearing down. I'm there early. I'm at every meeting. It's like when it comes to volunteers, I can only work with the people that are here. I can't spend my time chasing people that don't want to be here. Church, the organization I lead, we say this often. Church is built off the sacrifice of people that want to be here, not had to be here. Can't work with volunteers that have to be there, have to go to the turkey drive, I have to go give Christmas presents, I have to be there at the rally, I have to show up, I have to. No. I don't want anything that's have to. Even God, when it comes to giving, he goes, don't give reluctantly or under compulsion. Give with a cheerful spirit. Volunteer with a happy heart. Volunteer like I want to be there. I want to be with my team. I want to be with my crew. I want to be with my people. If people are doing that, they're leaning into us. We are leaning into them, which means I'm giving time, attention, affection, adoration, compliments. I'm giving my best to the people that are leaning into us. Next one, number 5. Our goal, this is just a volunteer principle. Our goal is that we want people to catch our culture, we want to teach our culture, and we want to police our culture. This is how you need to work with great volunteers. Catch it. It's in the air. It's like you're going to catch it. Be around us. You're going to learn our language. You can learn. By the way, culture is more caught than taught. Culture is more unspoken than spoken. Culture is learned very slowly, by the way. You don't just wake up and you go like, I changed cultures. No, so many people that you're leading, they're carrying old culture with them. And it's slow process getting old culture out and new culture in. So I was telling the story the other day. Recently I did this wedding and I went into the room, with the groom and all of his crew, the whole wedding party. And I looked around the room. Every guy has an amazing watch on. Like, wow, whoa. These guys are star-studded. Just the watches are sensational. I, on the other hand, I'm counting my 10,000 steps a day, November challenge. I've got my Apple Watch, praise God. And I could just tell as I was looking around, watches are a value of this tribe, this group of friends. That your timepiece says a lot. That's unspoken. Nobody said, hey guys, tomorrow at the wedding, we're going to all wear nice watches. Nobody said that. It's a culture. Culture is unspoken more than even spoken. So when it comes to volunteers, we want them to catch the culture, but we want to teach the culture. Listen, I love Craig Rochelle. He says, culture eats vision and strategy for breakfast all day long. So you can have great vision, you have great strategy, but your culture trumps everything. So with your volunteers, let them catch it, watch, observe. Oh, we dress like that. We talk like that. Oh, we do that during the services or whatever your field is. Catch it, teach it, look them in the eyes. Jesus did this. He would, go out, do the healings, the miracles, and then he would sit down with the guys and go, do you know why I did that? Can I explain to you what I was thinking there? So then he would teach the culture and then police it, correct it. Hey, what are you guys talking about while we walk down the road here? What were you guys bringing up? Police the culture. catch, teach, police, catch, teach, police. If you do that, you'll raise up phenomenal volunteers that will go further than you could ever imagine. Here's the last one. This is how volunteers work. It starts with a family. It turns into a team. It becomes an army and ends in nation. So watch. Family, team, army, nation. Family, team, army, nation. Great volunteer teams, they start as just family. We're just a small little family, ma and pa, just working it together, just this little group. We're a little family. We know each other. We love each other. We're just full family. Then you graduate, you become a team. It's like, teams run plays. Teams have handbooks. Teams know what we're doing, when to come, when to leave, how to clean up, how to set up, tear down, so on and so forth. Teams. And then we become an army. That it's like, dude, we got 5, 6, 7, 800. This is an army of volunteers. For my organization, we have 51 teams in our church. So we can't operate like a family. We're beyond that. We got teams, and our teams turn us into a phenomenal army that, to be facetious, the army of the Lord. You guys get it. I may never walk in, children's church. But we become an army. And then out of an army, you become a nation. And a nation is when you get there, that's when you can reproduce at a high level. I want to encourage you, take care of your volunteers. They're there to be served, not to serve. Give your best to the best. We have a saying in leadership, we work the hardest for those that work hard for us. So if you're working hard as a volunteer, we're going to work hard for you. How do we work hard? Communication, vision, value, standards, culture. We're working hard to communicate, no last minute changes. And we want to make sure we work hard to make sure you know that you are seen and heard. You are needed and you are known. Every volunteer needs to feel like they're needed here, and every volunteer needs to feel like they're known here. Now, in our organization, we have volunteers that say, I got overworked or I wasn't treated right. We go back and we try and work with that leader. What happened with your team? How did you not run the play that we've set up? So I got to catch, teach, and police, because if the volunteers are not happy, our volunteers are called the ZST, the greatest team in the whole world, Zoe Serve Team. If they're not happy, we got to look at ourselves in the mirror and go, what are we doing wrong to not allow there to be a happy volunteer culture? I believe you can do it. You're a great leader, and we are with you. Again, thank you so much for listening to Leadership Lean In. I hope today's episode brought you great strength and insight. The best is yet to come. And we'll see you, for me and Juan, every other week. Were you going to say Los Cientos? Los Vemos. We'll see you in 2 weeks, because we are now every other week, wherever you're listening, Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. We love you. Keep leaning. We love you.